Welcome, Blood Fam. Hello, how we doing? How's everybody on this fine January 2nd that happens once every year? Um, that Papa Blood loves so very much. Welcome, Blood Fam. Everybody be sure to wish Papa Blood a happy 34th birthday. How we doing?
I'm doing all right. How are you doing?
I am thrilled to be here.
Me too. That felt like a that felt like you were serving one up.
Yeah, so this is the one day a year that Papa Blood does not like to speak to anybody, and so I felt more than appropriate to surprise him with a live stream with all of the Blood fam who cares about him and enjoys seeing his face from time to time to come spend it with, so he didn't lay down in bed all day and hide away for his birthday. So here we are.
I was pretty content and happy where I was at. It was okay.
Yeah, that's no way to spend your birthday when you've got people that care
I'm
about
gonna.
you.
I'll agree
Blood
with that.
fam, blood fam, help me out.
I'll agree with that. That's no way to spend my birthday doing what I wanted to do, but that's okay.
Listen, you had like 2 weeks out of the last month off. You had plenty of time to just lay in bed.
Yeah, and then I had to go back to work, and then today felt like a good day to take a nap after a long day's worth of work. I'm
See,
not
look at this
disappointed.
chat going crazy. Everybody's wishing you a happy birthday. I'm trying to get the ones that actually say happy birthday because Pizzle, been a member for 7 months. Appreciate you as well. Even Brewers made it in here. Look at that. I told you.
What up,
People
Jeff?
people will come because it's your birthday.
I
Even
mean, I
even,
guess that's cool. I'll
even
take it.
Chris. Chris was the first one.
No way.
Chris was the first one.
No way.
Chris of all people. You know, you got people in here. There's nothing wrong with it. To have a We've been promising the Blood Fam a Q&A for some time. I knew that he was laying in bed doing absolutely nothing today. And I too was absolutely doing nothing today, but today was my rest day after New Year's Eve weekend. And so it's a little bit different. And I felt like it was more than appropriate. It just happened to be your birthday today. Today was just a good day to do it. But it just happened to be your birthday, and so I exploited that opportunity.
Yeah, I saw when the text message come up and said, "You want to do it live today?" I'm like, or what are you doing? And I had just woke up. I mean, I had just woke up. I looked over and I seen it. Went, oh, I knew what was coming. I knew I was being baited into this, so it is all good.
You showed up.
I'm glad. I'm glad to be here. I'm still kind of asleep, and the dog's still outside. He wouldn't come in.
That's okay. My dogs didn't want to be outside. Also, cheers, Blood Fam. Alex, I swear to God. Listen, that's a big deal to him. I had to point it out. You were the first one. You were the first one in here. That's something.
I like Chris, man. He's pleasantly frustrating.
Crafty, I'm not sure that's how a Q&A works. I don't think you're supposed to answer your own question, but I guess happy birthday, Papa Blood. That was cold. 2 years ago today, on your birthday, we actually were in the jungle.
I saw the pictures on my Snapchat story today.
Watching your Bengals beat my Chiefs.
All the past.
And it haunts me.
All the past.
I don't, pleasantly frustrating. I'll take it. Anyway, we going to strip club for your birthday.
You know, this little crew of of folks that come in here on the every single week, at least for a minute or two. We've got like this most dysfunctional, happy people I've ever met in my life. We've got this just conglomerate of different people, and it's so different. I'm not. Everybody's just so different. It's cool as hell. Art, what's up, bro?
You said happy birthday. That's even better than happy birthday. Happy birthday.
No, I like it. We when we started doing this, it was we were like, hey, we're going to build ourselves a community, and I think we did, and I think we found us some people that match up with us really well, and I like it.
I mean, I'm not sure they match up with us well, but they like to party, so
There's got to be something similar there. Everybody's just dramatically different. I mean, we've got age difference, we got everything. We got just a big. I mean,
yeah. I feel like you're phoning in on the wrong part of that, but
no,
um
I know, but it's really it's cool. I didn't really think it would work out like this when we started doing this, honestly.
we passed the vibe check. I don't even know if that's true, but we all can vibe together somehow, even if we don't always get along. And I think that's why some of you come back because you know how to push our buttons, and
Yeah,
you want to see what chaos can be ensued
I
by
mean,
coming back the next day. And I appreciate the hell out of that because and he is just like I am. He might not admit that, but he won't step down from about anything, and sometimes I'll go a little bit further than he would, but you should have seen fights between us when I was a teenager. That was a never ending. He won't step down either. He acts like he will. He tries to be mature. Uh but when you get under the skin, there's no backing down from that.
listen, you between the ages of 15 and 18 was a flipping nightmare.
I would say 13 to 16 cuz by 18 I was pretty chill.
Okay, I mean, yeah,
I was pretty chill.
13 was a little rough too. The thing was is that if you haven't learned about our personality is that neither one of us.
Oh,
Uh,
fun fact, Chris. I got grounded for an entire year for something I didn't even do. And then 11 and a half months in, he comes up to me and said, "Why are you grounded?" And I was like, "I don't freaking know." And he was like, "Okay, well, you're not grounded anymore." I was literally grounded for an entire year for something I didn't even do. And he didn't even know why I was grounded. He just kept going along with it. I had to stay locked up in my room. He took my
had to
door
stay
off
locked
too.
up in your room.
Well, I couldn't walk because I had just had knee surgery. I literally couldn't walk. I couldn't do anything. He took my door off of my bedroom. And I just laid there and I was miserable. I had no PlayStation. I had no TV. I was lucky over the summer that the FIFA, the World Soccer World Cup was going on, and I watched every single minute of that entire World Cup because I had literally nothing else to do, and I couldn't walk. I couldn't even shower on my own. Yet that was a perfect time for me to be grounded and have no contact with the outside world. By the time it was school came around, I felt like a caveman going into that. I
Was
didn't
that, was that before or after you popped the SIM card of when you weren't supposed to have your phone and ate it?
that was during because I was bored as hell. What else could I do? I couldn't walk. I didn't have a normal knee surgery. You have an ACL surgery, you walk right out of it. I had a knee surgery to where I couldn't put any weight on my leg for 6 months. I couldn't walk. And I had to keep my leg completely straight with a metal rod down the back of my brace so it couldn't even bend. Yeah, I ate a SIM card because I knew they were going to take it from me. And so I was like, well, if I can't have it, neither can you. I think I would have rather gotten beat with a belt, Chris. You know how awful that would have been? You know how awful it was, I should say? when you're like 14, 15 and you're finding when you have a hard time mentally with just about everything and you're basically stuck staring at a wall for a year, that's probably harder on you than just getting beat with a belt. And then I swear to God, he was sitting there playing his computer one day, and I just sat down next to him because what else would I was gonna do? I could walk at this point. He's like, "Do you remember why you're even grounded?" And I was like, "No, because I have no idea." And he goes, "Okay, well, you don't have to be grounded anymore." And I was like, "Okay." I didn't know how to function. It was like being locked in an isolation cell and then getting released to society. I was like, I didn't even know how to function at that point. I know why I got grounded because my mom come over and stirred the pot. This is you guys want to ask about my mother, but she used to come over and just stir the pot and get him all heated and he didn't want to deal with her, so he just got mad about whatever she said. And then I got in trouble and half the shit she said she made up because she wanted to stir the pot because she's a little. What's the craziest thing you've ever done? I don't know. I have no idea. Nowadays, grounding a child for 2 days is considered child abuse. Yeah, I know. The child wouldn't live through 11 and a half months now. I knew Alex was weird. I mean, that's probably not even the weirdest thing I've ever done, but it's got to be up there at least. Yeah, I did. My stepmom, she come around the corner and was like, "Do you have a phone?" And I was like, so I popped that SIM card out and just swallowed it. I don't know. That was I just did it.
Dude, it was like Mission Impossible. Ooh. And then smiled at us, literally.
That was, I've tried to eat a lot of weird things, but I don't know how I managed to get that down. Like, I know that they're not very big, but like, I'm the type of person, if I don't want to consume something, I'm not going to swallow it. It doesn't matter what it is, a liquid, any type of food. If it's something, it's a no, then it is a no. But I didn't even think twice. That thing was down my throat and swallowed before I even realized what I did. What's up, JP?
Thank you, brother.
That's literally what I said. That's literally what I said. I said, here, it doesn't work.
She literally smiled at my wife.
Did you retrieve the SIM card? No, I never saw that thing again. Probably didn't make it to the digestion process because it was. Okay, this is like one of those it's been sitting here for like I don't know how it got in here. It's like one of those things that's broken that you use to put on the end of like bread to keep it closed or whatever. That's not a zip tie. The other thing that usually has it connects up here. It was smaller than this. It was a very small SIM card. It was like tiny. It was like just black with the white writing on it. It's smaller than a dime, probably, or probably around the size of a dime.
I'd forgotten about that. That's funny.
You say you've forgotten about that, but every time we talk about my childhood, you bring it up. Every single time.
That was like that. That was like that Mission Impossible moment when you realized that you're a kid. I don't know, and the way you smiled afterwards.
You weren't even there. You were at work. You weren't even there. What do you mean? I didn't smile.
We had just gotten home from dinner.
Me and Jean were the only ones in the house.
I don't know.
I do know. Yeah, because corn is one of the greatest things on the planet. It'll never die. It'll never die. I haven't heard of anyone eating a SIM card that wasn't wanted by the police. Listen.
Thanks, Jake.
Cheers. What's up, Jake? Listen, I feel like every time we have a Q&A, that story gets told. And listen, you gotta stop bringing it up and then saying, "Oh, I forgot that happened," but you bring it up.
Okay, that part's fair.
I feel like that's absolutely correct, Daniel. If Michael Penix wins, then that means Indiana wins.
I mean, that's as close as I've got, right? That's as close as I can get to an IU national championship for football.
Didn't Tom Brady eat a SIM card over some low pressure footballs? I believe that. That dude would have done anything, and I mean anything, to get out of all the shady things he was involved with. Oh, Panther, that'll show him. That'll show him.
Yeah,
300K.
he's willing to throw away, 60, 70 million dollars on coaches that coach for about a year. I don't think a couple 100K is going to bother him.
I'm mad Alabama lost.
I'm not.
I'm not, but it would have been even funnier if Michigan lost and yet choked in the playoffs again.
I don't like I want the Big Ten to win, but I don't think Michigan should be there because they cheated. I don't like cheating. Or I don't like cheaters that get caught. How's that?
I just think I wanted whoever, the 2 or 3, whoever ended up winning that game. That's who I wanted to win from the beginning. But before all the drama broke out of who should be here, who shouldn't. Literally, Crafty. I told him one time to stop bringing that up, and he just, every time we speak about my teenage life, that's the first thing that comes out of his mouth, and then he follows it up by, I forgot that happened. I'm trying to, but he won't let me. I'm rooting for Washington, absolutely.
Yeah, I'll be rooting for Washington next week. It's kind of a win-win.
Here you go, Chris got you.
Greatest thing that ever happened to you besides your kids? Damn. I don't know how to answer that question. I have no idea how to answer that question. I'm going to think about that one because I don't know. I have no idea. Why are you looking at me that way? Do you have an answer for that?
I don't have kids, so I can't answer that.
Yeah, I cried. I cried when they lost in the Super Bowl to Joe Montana. The first time. The second time I didn't cry. I was mad. But the first time I was like 8 years old. It felt like the end of the world.
What are you talking about?
Renault asked if I ever cried over a Bengals loss.
Oh, I didn't see that one. And so I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, Jake, I want to see the Big Ten win for college football, but I just hate Michigan. And I love Michael Penix. So I feel like I can't lose, honestly.
What's up, Ian? Boomer or Burrow?
I don't know. I haven't had enough Burrow to figure that out, but right now they're on an equal playing at this point.
Hang on, I'm going to look up one statistic to determine my answer.
I mean, Boomer eventually was a Jet, so that kind of hurts. Probably Crafty. Boomer probably got him one.
Let's see.
The only thing I prefer about Boomer over Burrow is that Boomer is a lefty.
I'm trying to. I was trying to see how many games Boomer ever missed in his time with the Bengals due to injury. And I cannot find that statistic. So I'm going to go with Boomer until Burrow can have a healthy career, which I'm hoping follows after this one.
Yeah, I mean,
because that's my only, and it's not necessarily his fault. That's the only issue with him is keeping him on the field and keeping him upright, which neither of those things I think are his fault.
yeah, I don't know how I feel about this one feels like just bad luck. The calf felt like bad luck. Felt like it felt like when I saw that calf injury at the beginning of the season, I felt like that it was just not meant to be his year. The two previous years he did really well, and except for the appendectomy preseason, I mean it just seems like it's been riddled with obstacles in his career.
Yeah, and I think he can bounce back, depending on as long as that wrist surgery goes well.
Yeah, I because after reading about that, that really blows me away because they won't know until you won't know until you know, right? You don't. I mean, it's completed successfully, but how it's going to function throwing a football, we don't know yet.
Yeah, that's the only scary part.
Boomer had a cannon though. When he would wind up and throw it, my God.
It's so crazy to me watching left-handed people in general in the NFL like throw footballs. Like watching Tua, I feel like I'm watching it backwards, man. Like I'm on the wrong channel or something. Special effects channel. Jerry Rice or Randy Moss?
Jerry Rice.
Jerry Rice. Yeah, I'm with you.
I don't have to think about that one too long. And it's not for anything other than
No, I'm with. I know exactly where you're going, and I'm with you 100%.
yeah,
I'm
I
not
always
gonna
like
knock Randy Moss for anything. But if I could have one of them in their prime right this second, I would take Jerry Rice.
yeah, for sure. And they're both they're both great for different reasons.
Panther said for you, Adam Thielen or Tyler Boyd. I feel like that's a dumb question.
Oh yeah, I would never pass on Tyler Boyd. He's got to be. You know what I like about Tyler Boyd is that he's grounded. He always shows up when you need him, and he's been a good, loyal, excellent receiver that always accepted his role. I like that.
Listen, Tyler Boyd is one of my favorite slot receivers of all time. So I'm not gonna knock Adam Thielen at all because I've always liked that guy. I haven't watched more than one game of him in Carolina, but I
I
watched
mean,
a lot of tape and things on him in Minnesota.
Minnesota has an affinity for getting good receivers. They've done
Yeah,
a pretty good job
yeah,
at it.
I can agree with that.
But
Did you
Adam
see
Thielen,
Lamar feint a pass in a left-handed stance before switching to righty? I did not.
did you see?
Crafty says, "Is Higgins the odd man out?"
Well, that's not to be determined this year. He'll be franchise. The way we figure it is that he'll be franchise tagged for 1 year, and then he will be out the year after. So that he's going to have one more year in Cincinnati for about 26 somewhere between 22 and 25 million, whatever it boils down to, and they won't sign him because he's got the same agent as Jesse Bates.
I think if they franchise tag him and he signs it, that he'll be traded by the deadline. That's someone who's going to give him that contract.
Oh, they won't trade him.
That's my prediction. You can tell me they won't trade him, but if they do, I'm going to come back to this moment where you said they won't trade him. That is my prediction. Either they let him go or they franchise tag him and trade him. That's where I'm at with it.
Well, the reason why I say they won't is because they never have franchise tag somebody and then traded them.
Yeah, but this league is evolving and things are getting done the way that nobody's used to seeing them get done. I thought Josh Jacobs was going to get traded by the deadline too after getting franchise tagged this year. And it was nothing against the Raiders and it was nothing against Jacobs, but it's what I felt like was going to happen. And that's kind of where I feel with T. I would love
Yeah,
that
I
because then
think
he would be a Panther. I don't know. He might be
there's
in
gonna,
he might be in Atlanta with Jesse Bates.
there's going to be there's a courting list. I'm sure that it's out there of teams that have. Well, there was teams that tried to trade for him this year. So
I would have taken him for a bag of chips or for whatever you wanted. The Ravens can win Super Bowl. If they get there, they will win. But they have to get through the AFC first. I'm not worried about any NFC opponent they would face, but if they can get there, they will win. It's just as long as the cards fall their way in their playoff run.
as long as they don't play an AFC North opponent, because that
Or
seems to be.
Buffalo. Or Buffalo. I think Buffalo, Kansas City, and the AFC North. So they basically need to go through the AFC South. Their best chance of winning because there's probably going to be two South teams. It, I think so.
I think
Brock Bowers
Pittsburgh.
officially declaring for the 2024 NFL Draft. I think Cincinnati should take a risk and try to get that guy.
Tight
I
end is.
mean, your tight ends are starting to play up better to better potential, but
How about not going through free agency for a tight end?
well, you couldn't keep Hurst, and Hurst was perfect. For what
Yeah,
you guys were running, he was perfect. He's projected to go to the Giants. I could see that. But everywhere that non-quarterbacks get projected, they don't ever end up there unless they've got the first 3 picks in the draft. So, I don't look at those projections anymore because I realize how far off they are. Especially when Atlanta drafted Pitts. I thought they were going to take Jamar.
me too. Because I remember us talking about it. I wanted Pitts if they drafted Jamar. I wanted Penei Sewell. Let's be really honest. But
I mean, looking back, it worked out, but I still will die on that hill that I think they should have drafted him over Chase.
they should have.
Like,
Yeah,
it worked out, so things are fine, but it didn't work out well enough because one of the biggest issues going into the offseason for Cincinnati is yet again the offensive line.
yeah. I
They
mean,
played better, but no matter who's been behind that line, they're getting hit. So the problem's not fixed.
well, they definitely didn't know how to call max protection packages in the last 6 minutes of that game.
I've still yet to watch that.
Like 5 sacks in the last 6 minutes.
The only thing I saw from that game was watching Orlando Brown Jr. get run on by George Karlaftis. And then him turning around after the game and saying, I still would rather play in Cincinnati than in Kansas City. And I'm like, whatever, dude. He'll probably end up back in Baltimore in a year or two.
No, you know what he'll do. He's got one more year he has to play. Then he'll opt out of the third year of his contract, like he can, and then he will go take money somewhere else.
He ain't gonna get as much money though. Not if he's gonna get run on every other game. The Burrow to Chase connection's way too strong. Yeah, but Jake Browning showed that Jamar Chase can have a good game without Burrow. So I could see somebody sending way, way, way too much of an offer for Jamar Chase. And if it's good enough, that I could see them taking it. You know how like people like the Panthers overpay for the first overall pick? I could see somebody doing something like that for Jamar Chase if they were that desperate.
I still think they're going to try to find a way to sign T. Higgins and then just use cheap third and fourth receivers.
Don't worry, Panther. You're going to see another team like probably Atlanta or someone else make the same dumb decision and give the Bears way too much for their first overall pick that's supposed to be yours anyway. They're going to do it again.
Hey, but the good news is, Alex, based on where we finish in the division this year, we get to play Carolina next year.
You do?
Yep, they're on our schedule.
That's funny. Well, you guys are on our schedule again because we're never ever going to get away from you. Because next year you're going to come in and win your division, and then so the year after I'm going to have to play you guys again. I'm just never going to get away from the Cincinnati Bengals because we have the AFC North next year.
Yeah, they was talking about how many times we've played in such a short period that it's unprecedented. It's never happened like
Well,
that.
I watched Jamar Chase's post game because that was what I was really interested in, you know, because he was the big talk going into that game because all he did was talk going into that game. And they were like, they said, how does it feel to lose to them twice in a calendar year? And he was like, I laughed because it was really funny. It was a funny response. He was like, well, now that you put it that way, it sucks. But I was like, I don't even think it sucks that bad because we lost to you guys 3 times in a calendar year, and that should never happen. Unless we're in the same division, that should never happen. But we lost to you guys on twice in January, and once in December in the same calendar year. And that's messed up. Albeit it was 2 different seasons, but it still sucked. And so I didn't feel bad about it when they put that question on him. Why did the Chiefs fail to sign any receivers? Because we won the Super Bowl with the same receiving core we already had, and they just stopped remembering how to play football going into this year. The only difference is the addition of Richie James, which didn't matter until 2 weeks ago, and drafting Rashee Rice. Everybody else was there when we won the Super Bowl, and they just rolled over and died this year. They they're lacking effort. They are not disciplined. And I think that's all it is to it. You know, Sky Moore didn't even get a single target in that game against Cincinnati. I looked at the box score. I didn't watch the game. And I was like, finally, they're punishing him. And then now they're saying that they're going to start adding Justin Ross into the mix and Richie James and Rashee Rice to be our top 3 guys that are going to get more targets. And I hope that is true because I would love to see some Justin Ross. Well, Kadarius Toney's not playing because he's got a hip injury.
And he'll probably be gone soon enough. I don't think he'll stay there. I don't think Andy Reid will have him keep him.
Not if he's going to act like that. Give up 2 pick sixes in the same year.
I mean, technically, he's kind of responsible. Could be considered being totally responsible for 2 losses.
2 pick sixes, yeah. I mean, that'll do it. I wish the Jags fans would have jumped into the Owners booth. I want to see what would have happened. Dude, that would have been funny.
That would have been awesome.
Wait, who did the Jags lose to 3 times in the same calendar year? But was it a divisional opponent? Because Cincinnati is not in the AFC West. We're not supposed to lose to them 3 times in the same year. See, Titans, that's a divisional opponent, so that makes more sense. They're required to play against them at least twice. We are only required to play against Cincinnati once every situationally. We lost thrice. I love seeing Claypool dropping that touchdown in the Miami game. Claypool is still getting playing time there.
He just started actually getting it. He's been sitting on the bench a lot. Very limited, and then he finally gets in and he drops a touchdown pass.
Sucker. I know about that too.
Man, Buffalo, Miami next Sunday. I think it's gonna be good.
God, I hope Miami wins.
Me too.
God, I hope Miami wins. And this is going to be one of the few times that I'm doing this, is that I hope Pittsburgh also wins, because that'll help keep Buffalo out of the playoffs.
It will keep them out of the playoffs.
I thought it said if the Jags and the Steelers win.
I think it's the Jags or the Steelers.
Well, if Buffalo wins, they're automatically the 2.
Yes.
If they lose, but the Steelers and the Jags lose, I think they still can get in.
Right. They can still be this. They can be the 6, 7 or out if they don't win the division. So, but I know that.
So that's why I said I'm rooting for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I think because I think Baltimore's not gonna.
I've been preaching for weeks that I didn't want Pittsburgh in the playoffs because I didn't want to watch them, but now I'm asking for it because it would keep Buffalo out, and that's funny.
Yeah, I think that's correct. I think Pittsburgh holds the key. And furthermore, because I don't think Baltimore is going to play starters. If they're smart, they would not let Lamar touch the field.
Yeah, I was going through a bunch of player incentives, which is what this last game is going to come down to for some people. Why has officiating been so horrible this season? Well, it's always been horrible, but I'm blaming sports betting.
No,
honestly, I'm blaming sports betting. We've seen bad calls in the past, right? But these last 2-3 seasons have been god awful, and it's only getting worse. Bad calls, whatever. One controversial call in a month is much better than multiple per game, every game controversial calls. Especially games that mean things, Like, look at the difference that game would have made in the Lions and Cowboys. The Cowboys wouldn't have finished at 2, and they probably are going to as long as they win this week.
Yeah, but that one's even worse because they stopped. After the play was over, they stopped and talked about it, and still decided to, and then threw the flag, and then tried to make excuses because people just can't accept when they make mistakes. They had the ability to correct it on the field. They did not. That's what makes that even worse.
It was within the last 2 minutes, too. I feel like they should have kind of discussed it with New York. There's like Decker goes up to the ref, says whatever he says, and the ref shakes his head and acknowledges. So he heard something, but obviously he just heard the wrong number, which 68 and 70 don't really sound all that much alike. And he's gone. But that's the only thing. I'm going to say sports betting or money in general. You don't even have to say sports betting if it's under the table, which it could be. I am not, the refs are always right. We know that. You guys know that. I know that. But it's bad. Lions did win that game, and it was taken from them. Which, it was a great play call. I loved it. We always love to see a big man catching balls in the end zone. I remember back in the day, we had Eric Fisher catch a touchdown or two. And so.
Look at that.
Look at what?
Whoops. Celebrating Papa's birthday as well as proposing to your wife. Well, that's kind of cool. How's it going, Snowman?
The refs have screwed everybody this year except for the teams that they don't want to be screwed, I guess. The refs should have to wear a body cam and a mic. I think the refs, I mean, they do obviously wear a mic because when they have to use a mic to call things, but I think if the coaches and players have to be mic'd up, so should the refs. I think that would solve a lot of problems right away. Right away, if everyone had access to all the bullshit they were talking about when we can't hear them.
Yeah, that's a great call because then when you go sit down and have those three-way conversations, if nothing else, the team should get the audio after the game so that they can review it as well. Because hey, how are we gonna fix this? Well, I screwed up. Well, let's just go ahead and give it to them because I got 2,500 with my bookie. I mean, I just
I want to hear a Super Bowl mic'd up of the refs. That was all nullified the second that he said, that was me and I grabbed him. There should be no more argument because players don't own up to shit they didn't do, okay? They don't own up to it and they'll put their foot in the ground and fight for it like it's the last argument they will ever fight. But he came right up on a mic and said, yep, I did that. So there should be no more argument about that one. Now, if he didn't say that, I would understand everybody being pressed about it because it's a close call, but they have been mostly, except for that Brad Allen crew, consistent on this season. Anytime that jersey is grabbed, the flag comes out. So, I'm not willing to argue with anybody to defend my team about the Super Bowl refs because the player owned up to it when he shouldn't have.
I just think that there's got to be a higher level of accountability for officiating. I feel like that they get away with dictating or changing games way too easily. I don't know. I just feel like that something has to be different where there's some form of accountability.
I just think we need like officiating crews from other sports to come in, learn the rules of the game, and put them in there. Get World Cup soccer refs and put them on a sideline. Like,
And that's the other thing. We've been talking for a few years about having the sky judge be like the crew chief, and then nobody sees his face, and therefore you don't have. I mean, I know that can go both ways, but at least I just think somebody's got to try to set these games correctly because it just seems like there's things like makeup calls and there's things like, I know it's a hard job. It just feels like it's getting very dirty.
it's a hard job, but like it's not as hard as they're making it seem like it is.
I want to quit my job and go be an NFL official for the next 10 years.
Let me just Google how to become an NFL referee. To become an NFL referee, you need to earn a bachelor's degree, which is considered an advantage in hiring, obtain training from colleges, officiating organizations, and third party training schools, pursue state registration by officiating high school level games, gain experience at lower levels, earn the certification. I don't know why that word was so hard. Certification by attending the NFL officiating clinic. All right, right there. We need to find a way into the NFL officiating clinic. And then it says, and the sixth and final step says, apply for jobs to officiate NFL games. The application process is competitive, but if you have the experience and credentials, you may be able to land a job. Listen, it sounds like they're just putting just about anybody out there right now. So it doesn't need to be, it's probably not nearly as competitive as they say it is. The average NFL referee salary was set at $205,000 per year starting in 2019. They're paying these guys $1/5 million every year to just go out there and piss the world off. $205,000. If Brad Allen can make it, if Carl Sheffers can make it, anybody can make it. I just need to go enroll into, it didn't even say a bachelor's degree of what, it just said a bachelor's degree. So I'm going to go get the easiest obtainable bachelor's degree.
Phoenix University.
The easiest one, easiest path to a bachelor's degree. I'm going to go do it. And then I'm going to go talk to my high school. And I'm going to go have someone stand behind me with a camera for 3 hours at a couple high school football games. And then I'm going to find the nearest college that has college football. And I'm going to show them those videotapes.
Why don't you just use Photoshop with successful officials in high school and college?
Oh,
and then just put your face on
so pull a Gronk.
it.
That's an even better idea. And Brad Allen and Carl bachelor's degree in YouTube. Is that a real thing? Because I'll do it. They didn't say of what. It just says earn a bachelor's degree, which is considered an advantage in hiring. And there's plenty of females on the sideline in black and white stripes now that I can do it. I might not be tall enough, though. There was no height requirement, but I feel like I'm on the small end. I could probably set a record, though. People would vote me in to be the smallest NFL referee of all time. And they'd cheer for that.
I'll start the petition.
I'll start a GoFundMe so I can pay for college to get a bachelor's degree. At what age can you become an NFL referee? I feel like that's a fair question because they're all old. It says you have to have a minimum of 10 years of experience. There's no maximum age limit for becoming an NFL referee, but the average age of an NFL official is 51 years old. Did you just turn 51 today?
I did.
All right, you're at the perfect prime age to start your officiating career.
Yay, I'm at the perfect age.
See, now you don't have any reason to be bummed out. You're at the perfect age to be making $205,000 a year. You're always bummed on your birthday. I've been alive for 27 and a half years. I know.
It's not being bummed. I just don't. It's not important for me for people to make a big deal about it.
It's always important.
That's not my perception.
Leo, I'm not putting his age on blast because we came in here and celebrated his 50th birthday last year. So,
bro,
it's not my fault. People can't remember. It's not my fault. It took me reading that out loud to even remember myself, but I don't think age is that important unless it comes to, regulations and things like that.
What's up, Benzo?
500 per at bat for the player association to pay retirements, health and dental. Dang.
It's good to see you, brother. Thank you for stopping by.
What'd you get your dad? Me. I'm a freaking delight. I didn't know what to get him. He finally bought himself an Evan McPherson jersey, and that's what I was going to get him if he didn't already have one by then. That was my game plan, but then I talked him over the summer when we were at the pro shop into getting one. So, he'll get a birthday present in the next, when I find something that's perfectly appropriate for what I want to get him. I was going to get him a gag gift. Like a team or college or something that he hated just for fun. But
bottle of bourbon. I don't drink that much, Jake. honestly.
Ugh, I can't stand the smell of bourbon. It makes my stomach curl. I had that bourbon wine like a couple years ago, and I almost threw up. Nah, I don't think Michigan would be the top college that made him the most mad. He doesn't care about college football that much. He'd be much happier receiving a Michigan gear than some of the colleges I could buy. So at least Michigan's in the Big Ten.
Yeah. If my team doesn't do well, I want the teams around my team to do well. I can't help that.
See, I agree with that in like college sports, but like in the NFL, I feel the exact opposite about like my division. Like I want to see them fail even harder if we fail.
I do
See,
and I don't.
I like rooting for your division with the exception of Pittsburgh. Like
What's this? I root against my division every single week. I hope that they lose when we're in competition. But then when we're not in competition, I want them to attain as much as possible. As soon as they've got me beat, then I'm okay with them.
which are what specifically? Well, let's for starters, and the only answer I'm going to give is not in the Big 10. He's not going to be mad at me for buying him Big 10 gear even if it's not his team.
There's really only one thing that you could buy me that outside for college gear that I wouldn't. I would burn it. I guarantee it.
And I know that. Yeah, if I came in and gave him an Ohio State shirt or a Michigan shirt or a Nebraska, he's not gonna be mad. He's gonna be like, I don't know why you did that, but he won't be mad. I don't know. I could think of probably two schools. Yeah, there you go. Jake knows. I could think of probably two schools. And Purdue is not one of them. They're in the Big Ten.
I low key like Purdue because I love Matt Painter. I
See,
think he's a
I
very
feel like you liking Purdue is like this equivalent as a Bengals fan being cool with Cleveland.
um
I
it's
feel like it's
kind of
like
similar.
it feels like the same thing,
It,
you know?
it's more of like it's more of just like a mutual respect thing because I feel like they're our brother, right? I mean, you hate them at times when you're playing them. You absolutely want them to lose. When you're trying to beat them in conference, you want to see them lose in conference. But you come from the exact same roots. You come from the same house, the same. Going back to the '80s, watching Gene Cady and Coach Knight scream and yell and fight, after the game was over, be cool. It feels like a very similar situation, and that's why I don't have a problem with Purdue.
Jake, that was my number 2 team.
Uh,
Yeah, look at his face. Look at his face. See, I told
so
you. I
there's
told you that's the number 2. You can't even deny that face you just made.
so Duke, I want to lose in basketball a lot. But the bad thing is about Duke and basketball is that I love Mike Krzyzewski.
But he's
He
gone.
so I mean, so it's kind of it's a really weird situation. I love Mike
Well,
Krzyzewski.
you can like Bill Belichick without liking the Patriots.
I love Bill Belichick, and I really don't like the Patriots.
It's the same thing. Just because you like Mike Wazowski doesn't
But
mean you like
but here's the thing.
Duke sports.
But here's the thing, Panther. With Krzyzewski gone from Duke, they are not the same kind of threat that they were.
No, if I had a list like the top 2 colleges that I was like, if I bought him this, he'd probably be mad. Those were my 1 and 2.
Yeah, Duke and Kentucky, I wouldn't wear. I wouldn't even question why. I would know that it was just to piss me off.
Yeah, see, I told you, I've got pretty good intuition. I feel like if there were one team in the Big Ten, and this is from my own personal, I think that I would think that bothered you the most, it would probably be Ohio State. And it's the
No.
fan base. Between Michigan and Ohio State's fan base makes
Oh
me
my
want to
god, I
stab my
can't
own
stand
brains
either
out.
fan. I can't stand either fan base of Michigan or Ohio State for the most part. I and I don't want to and I don't want to say that because it's just the ones that I see, right? Uh,
I'm around a
I'm
lot
trying
of
to.
them. I'm around a lot of them.
Yeah, I was sitting there trying to think. There's not much. You really couldn't hurt my feelings much within the Big Ten, honestly. I can
Yeah,
find some.
see, it's just a personal thing. It's because I don't watch college football that I can't stand Ohio State fans. Like, and it has nothing to do with basketball. It's all about football. Was why I would even list Ohio State as number 3 because like I just growing up around their fans. Oh, I'm pretty sure Rick is talking about Michigan. Is he not talking about Michigan?
I don't know.
When I hear Big Blue, I think of Kentucky.
Yeah, I mean,
But Rick is he said, okay, I thought it was Michigan. Um, because Rick's the Lions fan, I say timidly. I try to keep track of everybody.
sometimes it's hard to tell.
And so I'll put Lions with yes, okay, with Michigan, and that makes sense. He's a Lions and Texans. Texans fan, I think.
Yeah, like it's like I'm all in. I would be all in for Michigan this year. I just think that there should be some initial repercussions because they got caught cheating. I just don't because I still look at college sports as amateur athletics, and I think there needs to be repercussions for doing things wrong. Thank you, Gene.
Also, I forgot to put Rick's up here when he got in here. But
Thank you, Rick. I appreciate it.
do you remember my team? It's probably a Cardinals because you and
Him
Mark
and
are
Mark get along
BFFs.
so well.
Yes. So that'd be my only guess. I've only ever heard you talk smack about teams. I don't think I've ever heard you talk good about teams. So my intuition is leading me to you being also a Cardinals fan. And I'm assuming you live some semi near Mark. So I'm putting you as Arizona. I don't know where Yinzerville is.
It sounds fake.
Yes, it does. I was bummed not to see a live stream for Bengals and Chiefs. He had the opportunity to do it. If the game was on any other day other than New Year's Eve, I could have been in here.
Yeah, it was probably a good choice not to do it.
I wanted to report as an eligible chat member, didn't want the flag to be thrown for illegal chatting. I'm so sorry, Gene. I was rooting for the Lions too, okay, and I think they were equally robbed as you do. It's Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
Ugh.
And and you know what? And there was no
I'm sorry.
apology issued by the NFL, nothing.
Nope, they stuck to their lies. They stuck with their lies, and then Roger Goodell comes out the next day and says, I think our officiating is better than ever. And I was like, of course you do.
Hey, you know what? I think I want to start a petition tomorrow that I think I officially want to change America's team from Dallas to Detroit.
That's fair.
Let's make the Detroit Lions America's team. F Dallas.
Yeah, they downgraded that crew out of the playoffs, but they are also officiating the Baltimore and Pittsburgh game this week, which is actually an important game.
It's actually kind of meaningless for Baltimore, though.
It's meaningless for Baltimore, but Baltimore could still try to win and keep Pittsburgh out.
I don't think they will.
Which makes it not meaningless. Because this affects Buffalo, this affects potentially Jacksonville or the other AFC South team that gets in, and it affects Pittsburgh. So this is a big portion of the rest of the AFC playoff race. So this is actually a big deal of a game. But when I found out they were doing that game, I was like, luckily, we can't do anything about Baltimore, and I don't care what bad things could happen to Pittsburgh. Downgraded the crew and didn't apologize. It makes no sense.
You know what? I mean, there's just there's just got to be a point in time when you would admit that something that you were in control of is wrong.
Oh man, billionaires they don't have to do that. Entitled people do not have to apologize for making mistakes.
And
And when
and
they
strange
do, it's never sincere.
and stranger, I made up my mind that I'm gonna be in here for one baseball game a week during the season this year.
How many do they play a week? 3 to 4
5,
every week?
for the most part. Yeah, they only have very few days off. They
I
play
thought
at
they played like a series and then took a day off, 2 days off, and then played another
not all. They don't
series.
always take a day off. They play approximately 5 games a week, maybe 6.
And
Some
how many weeks are the season? They still play baseball?
It's
How many?
162 games in a season, and it starts in
April?
April and ends in September.
Yeah, because when we went to opening day, it was on April like 1st, maybe. 6 what?
I think he means 6 games a week average.
See, I thought they had 1 to 2 days off a week, which would still be 5, and I just didn't do that math very quickly. So I'm trying to think, what's 162 divided by 5.5?
30 something.
So that's the regular season's approximately 30 something weeks. I'm 1 bajillion% not gonna be here to watch baseball. I have fallen out of love with baseball.
I'm
But that being said, we are gonna go see a couple baseball games in September with our very own Pizzle. He's gonna come up from the Florida area. I don't know where he lives. The Florida area and spend a couple days with us. I quit baseball when they canceled the World Series. Wait. I don't understand. When did they?
It's got to be talking about the strike season.
It might be the strike season. That makes sense. That's the only thing I can think of. I'm starting to learn more about baseball, so I'll be watching. I don't know how much in these streams I'll be in, but I am more than willing to. Like, when we first started this channel, we were in the NFL offseason, and we talked a lot about baseball. I would totally be down in the offseason to spend, like, a stream a week talking about baseball. Like, I'll come in here with him. I'll follow it this year. Look, I'm not going to put my heart into it, like, get upset when the Reds or Royals suck because they do. But I'll be here for the Cubs versus Reds because you know what? I'm sorry, Jake, but God hates the Cubs. And that is the only statement on baseball I will say every single year, whether I watch it or not. Sorry,
You,
Jake. I only say that to make Cubs fans mad. But
there you go. But there's something, as passionate as I am about, Indiana basketball and my Cincinnati Bengals, there's a lot of baseball teams that I hate so bad. I can give you 3 teams right off the top of the rip that I just can't stand, don't like anything about.
Pittsburgh, Chicago. Okay, I only guessed Pittsburgh because F the Steelers too. But I'm gonna say Chicago Cubs. I'm gonna say the Dodgers and the Yankees because that makes the most sense. I'm with you. Those are probably my 3 least favorite teams too.
I despise those teams.
But I love
Absolutely.
if in the division. I love the Brewers.
Yeah.
Like, they make me mad when we can't beat them because they've been better than us as of the last couple seasons. But I respect them.
I loved Craig Counsell, and now where's he managing now? Oh my God, it's someplace I didn't want him. Is he in Chicago?
Can you commentate on baseball? How you doing football? He's gonna, I might come in here for if he does play-by-plays because I don't know that he has enough things in a day to talk about to get through an entire baseball stream because there is so much downtime in baseball. But he can, as long as someone can be in here to make his mouth keep moving,
Bro,
he'll be fine.
yeah, it doesn't, it won't take much because,
It's not his forte to just nonstop talk. I work in a position to where all I do all day is talk to people, so I'm okay with that. But he's getting better. See,
I know.
basketball is the best sport for him to do because when it's playing, it doesn't stop unless there's stoppage for injury or they're reviewing stuff, but then he has something to talk about what he thinks about the review, his own opinion, what the right call is. But baseball is the slowest sport he could do, so this will be a big test for him.
No, but baseball, in all honesty, is my most intelligent sport that I have. I know more about the game of baseball than I do the other, two or three that we play with in here.
But I think it would be fun. I'd come in for like a weekly recap type thing like we used to do. We did like 1 to 2 streams a week in the off season of the NFL where we spent the first half of the stream talking about the Reds, and if anything else interesting in baseball happened, talking about that. Talking about the where we sit in the division, even in the first couple weeks of the year, and then we spend the second half of our stream, which was anywhere from an hour to 2 hours long, talking about any random sports news across the NFL that may have happened because it's not a very exciting time in the
And,
NFL in
and then
April.
NBA playoffs, we did that too.
We did. We talked about the NBA playoffs, and hopefully a team I like will actually be there and we can at least talk about it. But
Listen, Chris, I want to answer that because I've got two players
I love
that
Bronson Arroyo and Jesse Winker.
I got two players in that list. The first one is probably the most controversial of all time because of gambling, and that's Pete Rose. Uh, the way he played the game was amazing. My second one was Eric Davis. He's also a Red. If you don't know who he was, go check him out.
Eric Davis was a stud. Dude, all of the like Reds from around the time I was born, all of them were incredible, man. Even the early 2000s Reds teams they might not have always been the best, but you had like Adam Dunn and Bronson Arroyo. It was when Joey Votto was young and Jay Bruce was young. We went to a lot of games. I don't know if it was you, but I know I went with Papel. Um, I went to a lot of Joey Votto's rookie season and Jay Bruce's rookie season games because you could buy $6 nosebleed tickets, and we would just go. You know, every couple weeks we'd go to a couple. And so when I was a kid, I went to so many baseball games. We don't go very much now, but
The last time we went, we have the opportunity to go. I still go at least once or twice a season.
yeah, but the last one you went to was awful. That doubleheader where you watched all the backups against the Pirates.
When was that one?
Last year, I think, this past season, you went to a game and you were like, this was literally awful because there was no starters playing. It was a doubleheader game, and you got the second game.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, that was against Pittsburgh. Uh, I, I have a means to get tickets, and sometimes they can be very good tickets. Sometimes they can be just decent tickets,
And
and
sometimes they can be that.
then sometimes they can be that. But I've already put in for
The
one
Braves
whole series
series.
this year, and I think one of my vendors is going to give me the digital tickets for like one of the special areas where where it's not a regular ticket. So hopefully we'll get to take Pizzle for something special.
I hope so. It's gonna be fun having them in town for a couple days.
I know for sure that I'll have tickets for 2 of those 3 nights. So
That ought to be good. Even if the Reds aren't that competitive in that game, which I think they have the potential to be. I think it'll be a fun couple games.
oh yeah, there. What's not to love about the Big Red Machine? I mean, honestly.
Dude, if I could go back in time, I would go to like watch the Reds in that World Series run.
Yeah, yeah, Gene. When you put when you put shoeless on there, it made my brain go because the only shoeless I ever heard of was Old School, and I wasn't sure if that was the right guy or not. Honestly, I thought it might have been like metaphorically speaking about somebody else. What's up, Marty?
What do you guys think about that Steamboat Willie movie that just got announced? Well, this is the first I'm hearing about it. I have no idea. So, I'm not sure. I am not sure. Didn't
Oh,
Deion Sanders play for the Reds? Yes. That definitely happened. I don't think it was a long period of time, but it was a period of time.
love Deion
Dude,
Sanders. Probably,
Cincinnati as a whole in sports have gotten some of the most random like stars. Because didn't T.O. play with the Bengals too for like a short period of time? Like they just get the most random like all-time greats.
yep, right at the end of his career. I saw something else. Rick Bo Jackson played for the Kansas City Royals.
That is
Can't remember if
true.
he played for anybody else, but I know he played for
I feel like
KC.
he played for somebody else. And I'm trying really hard to remember, but I'm only being able to see him visualize him in a red or a Royals jersey. But I
Yeah,
feel
that's
like
the
he played somewhere else. I feel like most baseball players will move at least one time. White Sox. Okay, that's who I was thinking of. He said White Sox and Angels, but White Sox was the other team I was thinking.
when we talk about favorite baseball players, that's a very tough one because there's a lot of great players out there for different reasons that I truly like, but I did still name my two favorite.
I don't know why, but I have always, as like ever since I was a kid, loved Bronson Arroyo. I couldn't tell you why, but still, every time someone says, "Who's your favorite baseball player?" like the first name that crosses my head is Bronson Arroyo every single time.
Thanks, Shebley.
Oh yeah, Shark Course. I just saw that. You said it was a horror movie. Well, that article says it's a horror movie, so I'm probably not going to watch it either way. Um, I am just a wuss. If you remember $1.50 gas, you're old. I mean, I'm only 27, and I remember $1.50 gas.
I remember the gas less than $1.
I remember like $1.20 gas at least. King Griffey
Yeah.
Jr. Okay, that one's hard to argue against. He's got to be up there too.
So watch this.
And senior, man.
Ken Griffey Jr. has my favorite swing of all time. He's got the most beautiful swing in baseball's history. See?
Oh, Gene said it too. Gene said it too.
Yeah.
Also, this picture that is Shelby's profile picture was the picture taken at your birthday.
I'm next to one of you.
Because I posted those pictures today. Otane is the best cat name ever. Is your cat named Otane? What 1979 I turned 16 and gas hit $1. Was it that early that gas hit $1? Like
Well,
I feel like
there was a period in the 70s before that gas spiked really high, and then it dropped down again in the mid to late 80s to right
because
around
I
the
was gonna
dollar
say
again.
like right before 2000. I mean, obviously I was born in 96, so I don't know. I don't recognize anything, but I remember talking about it in school. I thought the late 90s it was like dropped and then went really really high close to 2000.
Yeah, there's been a couple really big spikes. I can't keep up with all of them. I just remember there was one lull in prices when I was in the late 80s, and then I know, and then somewhere in the late 90s we had, or early 2000s, we had a big spike, and then it dropped really low again.
Dude, it was like a big spike too. It was like close to like $4 and then it just like plummeted back down.
It was over 4 for a while.
Yeah, I was gonna say I remember I was pretty young, but I remember at one point it was like $4 and like 8 cents or something.
Yeah, it really determined how we lived our lives. The gas prices were because we normally used to go places and we stopped. We didn't go to the mall. We didn't go to
We
we
used
didn't
to go
take
to the mall a
trips.
lot, yeah.
We really. Yeah, I thought so, stranger. I knew there was a couple lulls in there where it got really low.
Can I answer my new favorite current baseball player? Because that has to be Jonathan India. There's got to be nobody more more like I look forward to seeing if I turn on a baseball game right now. It's
Yeah,
the hair. The dude has got the greatest hair in baseball right now.
I love Jonathan India.
I think
Hopefully,
that him and his wife are either expecting or just had their first child.
uh, Kay, if I'm being realistic for the game, Michigan's probably going to win.
I'm
Michael
going with
Penix,
Michael Penix in Washington all day.
I'm just saying that Michigan's probably going to win. I got to wait and see what the odds are or what
Favorite picture? What does that mean? Pitcher.
pitcher.
Okay. Okay. I was like, I don't know. I see a trend in your favorite baseball players. It's got to be the hair, man. I feel like you're right. I know Bronson Arroyo wasn't like the greatest player of all time, but he had the hair. But Jonathan India's got like Patrick Mahomes' hair. Like I just want to touch his hair one time. We a bunch of us at work talk about that, and trust me, nobody gives two craps about Patrick Mahomes that I work with, other than Shelby, of course. But Bengals fans are like, "You're right. I just want to touch his hair one time." Like I don't know what it is, but Jonathan India's hair is just. He's very elegant with his long curly hair. He's like a lion, man. Very elegant. Favorite pitcher, Bronson Arroyo.
I was sitting there trying to.
Bronson Arroyo.
I was
Or
trying to figure out who I wanted to put in that
or
category.
Roldis Chapman. Because I got to see him pitch in person.
I loved I loved what Chapman was. He was wild.
Yeah, Bronson Arroyo and Roldis Chapman and Luis Castillo. I know he didn't speak English, but I loved his sense of humor. He was a very
Johnny
funny guy.
Cueto ranks up there for
Oh, Johnny
favorite.
Cueto. You want to talk about a guy with nice hair? Johnny Cueto's got nice hair too. Oh yeah, I think someone came in here. I think it was Panther maybe. Somebody said that Brock had declared for the draft. Also, here's another one. I have to make sure you don't miss anybody's happy birthday posts.
Hi Angie, thank you. Uh, how about when we were talking about favorite pitcher? How about I pick a if I had to pick a conglomerate or a group of pitchers? I was sitting here thinking about the Nasty Boys. It was Norm Charlton,
Dude,
Randy Myers, and Ron Dibble. Uh,
nothing has ever made me laugh more than when Jonathan India was like, the Nasty Boys.
uh,
Also, the Savannah Bananas are the most fun baseball team you ever watch, and I hope that is the future of baseball.
I watch Savannah Bananas on YouTube every
I
year.
hope that is the future of baseball because I would attend every baseball game around here ever.
My favorite part about the Savannah Bananas is the umpire that gets out there and grinds.
Dude, all of them are so good. Some of them come out there on stilts.
Rob Dibble. Oh, I know. Maybe I said it incorrectly. I know. I'm pretty sure I said Rob. Maybe I said Ron. Norm, Rob, and Randy, because it was just fun to watch them. I think that was 1990.
The Savannah Bananas remind me of what like I picture like circuses and stuff like that. Circuses and fairs were like when I was either like a baby or pre when I was born. Like nothing makes sense. You have no idea what they're doing, but everybody's having fun. Like just like circuses and fairs, things like family events like that. That's what they are. They're just fun. There was somebody that I either currently plays for the White Sox or in the last 2 years has played for the White Sox. Because I didn't watch baseball this year, so it wasn't this season, but the last 2 seasons before that I really really liked as well, and I cannot remember his name right now. I don't know if he was a pitcher though. I feel like he was a baseman.
I like the guy that plays shortstop, and I'm trying to think of his
Oh,
name.
it might be shortstop then. If you say his name. Hey Gene, have a good night. Appreciate you. Thanks
Much
for
love, Mr. Gene. Thank you.
thanks for stopping in and spreading the birthday cheer with us. Dude, the Savannah bananas are great. Next time they come around here, I'm going. We got a couple minor league baseball teams around here that they could potentially come play at their fields. So if they come down this way again. Oh. Was it Abreu?
No, I can't find the one that I'm looking for.
Stranger wants to know, do you remember the name of the incredible starting pitcher that we had to go with the Nasty Boys? Tim Anderson, that's another White Sox player.
Tom Browning, Jose Rio. Shoot, I'm trying to think if there was another one in that group. Browning, Rio. I think that's the two.
Q&A time. How did you guys decide you wanted to do a YouTube channel? I'll let you take it.
So for this channel in particular, I had been doing another one, and Alex and I spent Sunday afternoons just sitting on the phone, bitching and talking about the football games of the day.
You say afternoons, but it was like after prime time, so it was like 11:30 until like 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah,
it was not afternoons. It was late at night on Sundays.
And we would sit and we would discuss, and what we really realized was that we really had a different perspectives, but we had a pretty good understanding of the games from different perspectives. And then it just became an idea that we wanted to just talk about sports because we thought, because it was off season when we started it, and the Super Bowl had just ended, so we were just sitting in here. We BS'd. If you want to go back and look at some of our first streams, we sit here and BS'd with nobody in the room for months. It felt like, and it was it just felt like the right thing to do. It felt like it was something that we could do together and have fun at, and it's really worked out.
I mean, pretty much. We were already having the same discussions that we had in here. That we have things that you hear us debating in here are no different than the phone calls that we would have on late Sunday nights every single week. But yeah, we used to talk on the phone for like 4+ hours a day. And then Monday night, I'd call him right after Monday Night Football. Like the second that clock hit 0, his phone was buzzing. And then there's another hour and a half of us just bitching. Like, honestly, like a lot of times I was just mad. Like a lot of times at least one of us was mad. And it was like almost just like a source of venting, but also having another perspective to like just talk about it and discuss it. And and I was like, he started doing live streams with his buddy from Canada that does metal detecting also on his other stream. And he was like, well, why don't we just do that and talk about football? Because he had just started. He not on his channel just yet, but he was joining other people's live streams at like 1:00 in the morning with his friends from Canada. And he would go on there all night long with those guys and have so much fun. And he was like, why don't we just do that, but talk about football? And I was like, word. Like, what's the worst thing that can happen? It's just me and you talking about football. It wouldn't be like anything was different. If it didn't grow, it'd still be us two talk about football. We're going to do it either way. And so we thought we might as well try to make some friends while we were doing it. And, fast forward a couple years later, here we are. Still talking about football.
Yeah, and the thing of it is that the group of, like I've said earlier, and I know it kind of goes off the rail a little bit, but we got such a good group. There's a lot of people that come in here that talk about stuff that are fans of different teams and speak, with high intelligence, and it always piques our conversation. It's I don't know, it's the best way I found to spend watching a game. I would rather be in here watching a game than just sitting watching a game for the most part.
It's all fun and games until Shane passes out during a live stream. Oh, I didn't forget about that either, Marty.
Bro, if you were there that night, you're a champ, because
Dude, I remember that night.
That was hilarious. JP was there with me. Me and JP were on together, and we was on Marlon's stream at like 2:30 in the morning during this 24-hour thing, and I passed out trying to kill a fifth of vodka before from 8 and drink the whole thing.
Dude, I remember that. I remember
Did not
that.
end well.
I did not participate, meaning via in the stream, like on the screen, but I was in like 12 of that 24 hours
So
of YouTube.
tomorrow night during the Indiana game, I'll post a link of that stream where I passed out if you all want to see it.
Dude, that shit was funny.
It was funny.
Because he was the only one that passed out.
JP was close.
Yeah, but JP's a professional, dog. Like me, I've stayed up on Saturday nights pretty late with JP before. Like, you might think he's close to passing out, but he's never gonna do it. I stayed up really late with a lot of those guys. Back when we first started this channel, I would go on Saturday nights and just all the friends that you've made over there, if they were hosting a live stream, they'd be like, Alex, come hang out with us. And I'd go live with them. And those guys can go for hours. They could go for days. It don't matter how much they have drank, how inebriated they are. They won't pass out. They're fighters. It'll be like 4:30 in the morning and they're like, how about we get a guitar?
Yeah, it's going to take me a hot minute to actually find it because there's a ton of them.
You need to go to your live tab and then basically go to the beginning. It's got to be in the first like 2 months.
Yeah, it wasn't on, but it wasn't my stream.
Oh, you're right. But go to your first live stream and look when that date was, and then go to Marty's or whoever's around that time.
Thanks, Sam. Appreciate you, bro.
Also, Jake said, go Big Red. Later, guys. Jake, have a good one. You're going to be in here tomorrow, aren't you?
9 o'clock.
9 p.m., Nebraska.
On the road.
Rick says, I sub to your metal detecting channel. Also, have you done any magnet fishing?
Absolutely.
Rick, have you ever went magnet fishing? Because that is so much fun. Also, your local porn stars here.
Yeah.
But he's done a lot more magnet fishing than I have. But I've went it once or twice. Me and Shelby went.
Yeah, Rick, Paul from Woodrun Relics, he organized it. I think I did 7 to 8 or 8 to 9 that night, the first night. And then after that, we were bouncing from everyone, and I was trying to drink that fifth of vodka, and I there was about 20% of it left, and I was out, and I passed out during Marlon's stream.
Rick said,
I progressively got drunker.
But I have a high level of interest and way cheaper than metal detecting. I agree. I think it is a little bit cheaper, and you just gotta go find water like you do find areas to metal detect.
Yeah, it's very similar in philosophy. You just go look to where people dumped, and Rick.
Well,
does Rick live in Michigan?
I don't know. I've never been to Rick's house.
No, I know he's a Michigan fan. I didn't know if he lived up there because Michigan is one of the best places to go magnet fishing because there's so many guns and artillery that's been thrown over bridges.
Well, listen, I just don't assume where people live because I'm not as comfortable of asking people for their address as you are.
Okay, so he lives near Ann Arbor. I was just correlating the fandom, right? But yes, like a buddy of mine that's up in East Lansing. They're fine. They find everything up there, and Detroit is like gun heaven.
Yeah, but it's also kind of scary magnet fishing in Detroit. Yeah,
Yeah.
guns, that's fine, but there's people have found things that they don't ever want to find.
Rick, I think I remember that now. I think I probably do still have I still have your address.
Colin!
What's up, brother?
He said I can identify with slobbering drunk off vodka.
That was a night, man.
I do remember sending you those stickers, Rick, but he handled the addresses. I just sent him his way so he had the stickers on hand, so I didn't handle any of the actual mail part. And then why'd you ask me where he lived? I don't know.
Well, I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if he was one of them that got stickers because
I remember him getting stickers because that's exactly what he said is I'm gonna put them on my bass guitar or his guitar case, one of the two, or his amp. It was something with music. I remember him saying that when we were sending him out that night. It was a different. I'm in the process right now of creating some new merch for the It's in the Blood. Some other stuff, like some new merch that's not stickers that can be used more than once because a sticker you can only use one time. um I've been in the process, but we're working on redesigning this guy down here, this logo. I know he's had some changes made to it, but I mean a new logo completely, not just an updating this one. And so I can work with merchandise because this logo does not go on merchandise. It no matter what site, no matter what company, it just doesn't work. So we're working on a rebrand as soon as we can rebrand. Not necessarily rebrand, but redo the logo and kind of roll out a whole new look altogether that can go on some different merchandise and stuff. But I've got some other t-shirts that don't include having a logo on it necessarily. I'm working on right now. I have a merch page made. There's just nothing on it yet. So, well, it's on it. It's just you guys wouldn't be able to see it. I'm gonna put him on it. He's the mascot. Sam said the same thing. Mascot Ash logo. Could be a snapback. I could probably. I mean, this logo would look cool on a snapback, but I can't put this logo on anything. I don't know how you let him just lick and lick all the time.
I stop him.
What's up,
He gets a
sports cat?
couple in, and then I cringe.
Detroit is just kind of scary, anyways. Our motel for a fishing trip was on 3 Mile Road.
Bro, I don't know exactly where we was at. I know the bridge going to Canada is right there, and we were down there on that river, and it was pretty scary. Uh, yeah.
Okay, we're not changing our name. We're just making a logo that works better with everything. I've been to Detroit a couple times.
I like it downtown by the stadium, by the baseball stadium.
Is the baseball stadium anywhere near the football stadium?
I think it was the baseball stadium. I don't know. I went to some kind of pizza place down there that was supposed to be amazing, Detroit pizza.
Supposed to be. Was it not good?
I mean, I thought it was good, but
What the way you just said that me sounded like it was awful. You
well,
said it was supposed to be
so
amazing.
I was up there. We were up there at a magnet fishing event, and we decided to go out and we Googled what was the best Detroit pizza, and and this place came up, and it was right downtown by the stadium, and we went down there and ate it. It was like an hour and 15-minute wait to get a pizza. So the build up was that it was going to be amazing, the inevitable result was that it was good pizza, but the buildup didn't achieve. It didn't equal out to what I thought the hype. It didn't live up to the hype, but it was good.
That's why I'll ask Google what the best is, because how does
Yeah,
Google know what the best is? Google's never eaten there.
yeah. But we
I'm
were trying to.
surrounded by all kinds of chains of lakes and rivers where I'm at, then that's a perfect place to go magnet fishing. Because if it's like lakes, or if there's rivers, like that water flows, then just about anything could be in there. How about find a way to combine KC and the Bengals in one logo? Well, that doesn't work because he just said I'm covering baseball this year, and he already covers IU basketball, so that probably wouldn't make that much sense.
It might have been Buddy's Pizza, Rick.
Dude, I had a Buddy's Pizza in Frankfort, Kentucky, and that was it was the biggest pizza I've ever seen, and it was really good. Also, Marty says, gotta run to get over to Bill's stream. Bye, Alex. Happy birthday, Shane. Later, guys. Marty, thanks for hanging out with us. We'll see you. We'll see you on a flip. I think it was Buddy's Pizza in Frankfurt. His whole thing was like his dog's name was Buddy, and so he had pictures of people's dogs everywhere. It is Buddy's Pizza. Yeah, his logo is literally the dog. I don't know if that's the same guy up where you're talking about, but this pizza
I'm
was
actually,
massive.
yeah, because we went by MGM Grand that day, and it was right there by Comerica Park. It is Buddy's Pizza.
Deep dish pizza gives me heartburn. I don't usually eat a lot of deep dish pizza, honestly.
But yeah, I mean, that part of downtown Detroit's cleaned up a lot and I'm talking about since I was there in the late '80s. That part of Detroit is a lot nicer than it used to be. They have like little party buses going around where you sit on a van and drink, and they had all kinds of cool stuff like that. And it's a very good nightlife.
Oh, Alex, in case you were wondering, it is officially the new year now here in California. Dude, it's almost 9 p.m. on January 2nd, and you guys finally made it to 2024. Congrats, Leo. And cheers. Chris, he ain't gonna. You know he's not.
I don't think that's a fair question.
Why?
The
What's not
greatest thing
fair about it?
that ever happened to you besides your kids? I don't know. I think I think putting it into the term greatest and singling it to one thing.
I mean, it's your own personal. What's the greatest thing that's ever happened to you? And
What does I'll pick for you mean?
I'll tell you what the greatest thing to ever happen to me, besides people, like family, because he said your kids, but I'm gonna say besides like family, loved ones in general, I'm gonna say in 2013 on April 1st, Bring Me the Horizon released the album Sempiternal, and that is the greatest thing that's ever happened to me that was not from a loved one. Easy.
That's a great answer.
April 1st, 2013. I'll never forget it. It was the best day of my whole life. And then a month or two later, no, it was June or July, so a couple months later, I got to go see them live for the first time at the Warped Tour. So that stretch right there. What was that name again? Sempiternal by Bring Me the Horizon. Greatest thing that's ever happened to me that's not a person.
You know what? And they're not even what I would consider in my life what their type of music's different than what I grew up with, but that is a top 5 album in my entire life of something.
It's my favorite album of all time. I hands down, I will not ever put another album above it. Not even if they make a better one. I don't care. Like, that is their best album, and I put their two albums before that right there. Paste and
Oh,
chat. Okay.
categorize best find because like best coin or best relic. If you got different categories, I'll just do my three best coins really fast. I've got
The
it's
one
pretty
around your
much
neck,
illegible.
probably.
I've got an illegible Spanish half real that ranks up there. It should be sometime in the 1700s. Um, I have a British halfpenny that's 1783 and an 1819 US half cent. Um, those are probably my three best coins. But I've got some relics and stuff too. I've got a gold ring that's got it's got over a half carat worth of diamonds in it that I had appraised at almost $2,000.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, and the day I found it, so the best story about that is the day I found it, I went metal detecting by myself, and I was detecting,
Dude, you
looking
almost never
for
do that.
I was looking for another ring on the property. So I thought that I had found the ring that I was looking for that was lost in the 60s. That's what I thought I found. So I thought I found this guy's ring. And then when they said that that's not their ring that they were looking for, and I'm like, well, then can I keep it? And so I got to keep it. But it wasn't the male, wedding ring that I was looking for. I never found the one I was looking for. I found this one instead. Make sure you check out the It's in the Blood Discord. Thank you, Panther. Appreciate it. Yeah, I got I got that on video too. And the owner of the house had left. They had went to town. The owner of the farm, 30 years prior, had left. He wasn't still out there bush hogging in the back. And so I had to wait for them to come back to find out whether or not that was the right ring. It turns out the ring I was looking for it didn't have diamonds in it. It was oh my gosh, society, Mason's ring. And I didn't know what I was looking for. I just knew I was looking for a gold ring. So when they come back, I showed them this ring. They're like, "Where'd you find that?" And I'm like, "In the side yard." And it's like, "That's not what you're looking for." And I don't know whose that is. And so I saved it. I haven't sold a single find. But yeah. Let's see. But obviously, Chris, family and loved ones, I can't pick between. I can't say, I could never say anything that makes me think of one situation above another. Even marrying my wife, I couldn't say that. I've got friendships that are just that mean as much to me as my marriage. So I can't use people, but if you want to, if you want to find something that I'm passionate about, um, my metal detecting is one thing that I truly have a considerable amount of passion for.
Oh, I just remembered now that I'm sitting back down. I don't know if I showed even you my favorite Bring Me the Horizon shirt that I have. Not the one I wore in here. That's my tied for my favorite that I just got this year. But I got a new one. I'll go get it in just a second. But Leo, that album by Bring Me the Horizon, I think, is the only album of theirs that I do not own on vinyls. I went looking to see if my box of vinyls were here, and they're not. So they're either at Sam's house or in your garage, one of the two. I don't think they're in your garage. They might be in here in just a box that is in a different room than where I looked, but yes. That album though is amazing. But I'm gonna go grab that shirt because I feel like the chat deserves to see it, and I don't think you've ever seen it. I just bought it this year and I haven't even worn it yet, but I had to have it.
Had to have it.
I had to have it. When you see it, you'll understand. I'm gonna grab it because I just thought about it as soon as I was walking back in here.
Yeah, you like getting her wound up. Get her on Bring Me the Horizon. You can keep. She'll go for days. You could get her to talk about that all. You could talk about that band all day long. And Chris making a YouTube channel and then finding a lot of the people that are in here. I look forward to being in here. It always makes something that I'm going to do anyway that much better because there's always somebody that stops by to have a conversation with, or an old friend stops in. You know, there's so many personalities that I truly like. And I know I make it sound kind of like we're all dysfunctional, but we are kind of all dysfunctional, but we really get along great. So the whole YouTube experience uh, has been something. I mean, I like trying to be creative. I like trying to it's like a video game trying to beat it, right? I'm trying to it's like I don't know, it's like building Legos. Uh, but yeah, yeah, we're like those kids, Chris. We're like those kids that have to stay after school because they got in trouble. And we're all put in the same room for an hour and for after school detention. That none of us probably know each other, but we all have very similar traits. Yeah, this has turned into something is really special.
All right. You ready for this? You're gonna love this. They might not love this, but I know you'll love it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go solo.
go solo.
This material is like super thick too. So the back of it just says, I think I'm gonna break down, which is amazing, first of all. But this is their lead singer and my favorite human on the entire planet. But check this out.
I
He looks
love that
crazy.
picture.
Dude, he looks crazy. It's from one of their newer songs.
Yeah, I like that video. What's that song called?
Yes. I can even hear it because he's like, I think I'm gonna break down. Yes. Alex is so happy somebody asked. Dude, I could probably make an entire YouTube channel where I did nothing but talk about this band. And the
It's
most recent news of this band broke my soul into a million pieces, but Jordan Fish officially left the band. And if it hadn't been for Jordan Fish, Sempiternal never would have happened, and Bring Me the Horizon probably would have broken up. And my life would have been over.
that song is lost, right?
Yeah, lost. And that song, the premise of it basically is about he wrote the song kind of about his relationship with the fan base and connecting it to like somebody with an addiction going to like AA or something like that and meeting. It's either strange. No, that's strangers. I was confusing it. Strangers is where it's like going to an AA meeting with a bunch of people you don't know, but you're all going through the same thing, and you kind of use that to get better together. And so I got these songs mixed up, but hang on, I'll show you guys. I can't show it on here because YouTube will shut me down, but I think yeah. Here we go. Copy link. That's where the picture is from. But it's the best. Let me just set it over here so I don't drop it on the ground or something, and I'll be upset. But
I love it how when you put that link in, the first thing it says is this video may be appropriate for some or inappropriate for some users. Yeah. If you go
What?
watch the video, it's pretty graphic.
It's one of their more graphic, but if you go to, like, their music videos from Sempiternal, their song "Can You Feel My Heart," this dude's, like, running from these, like, witch doctor looking guys, and he puts him on a table, they take his shirt off and, like, cut him straight through here, and they pull, like, this, like his blood is black, and they pull, like, this chip out of his chest where his heart's at. Yeah. I mean, he was on a lot of drugs then. But maybe live on your gaming channels? Probably. After I eat Taco Bell, which I'm for sure getting, and as soon as it gets here is uh when the live stream ends because I have to eat. And I've been wanting Taco Bell for like a couple days now, but I haven't ordered it yet, so we still have time. Yeah, but I could literally spend 6 hours a day talking about something different about that band
Oh,
for
for sure.
every day for the rest of my life, probably. Let's go to bacotaco.com. But yeah, since it's earlier in the day, we're probably gonna play some games, and I'm actually alive today. Yeah, yesterday I was not alive. I had a head splitting migraine, and things were going poorly. That video's insane, but it's so awesome. It's like kind of a different style of their music, but they every time they release new music, it is not like the last. And they don't fall into one category, and they never have. They're probably the best mainstream because they're considered mainstream in the UK. Please tell me what in the hell did I see in the first part of the video? Okay, let me click on it.
He wakes up while they're lobotomizing him. They have
Oh
his
my
brain.
god, it says this video may be inappropriate for some users. I
That's
understand that it
exactly
should
what
be
I
seen.
said.
I've never seen that before. Dude, that's so awesome, man. I freaking love them. I don't know what you saw, Chris. I think that's their most recent video. I don't know if they've made it. I'm never watching that again. Well, you're missing out. The song's really good. What do I want from Baco Taco? I will not watch though. Let me go to their channel and find like a. Oh wait, they released a lyric video a couple months ago, but I forgot about that. That's not a music video though. Let's go from their oldest videos. There we go. I think they've got a live video somewhere on their YouTube channel from them singing "The House of Wolves" in the UK, which was amazing. Looks like they've taken some stuff off their channel though. Like a lot of stuff actually. Oh, they do have it. Here we go. Copy link. Here's a live video of them doing House of Wolves off of Sip Eternal at Wembley Stadium, which is just awesome. There we go. But this is the music video I wanted to show you. Every time you listen to their songs, you're gonna hear like a different genre though.
Yeah, every album starts different.
There you go. That was back when Ollie had a little short hair. Now he's, just big. He's very, like, much more muscular now than he used to be, but he was, like, strung out on, like, ketamine or something. And Jordan Fish saved him, and then Jordan Fish left the band. And I'm so sad. I do have a vinyl signed by the entire band that has Jordan's autograph on it. I never got to meet them, but I have a signed vinyl, so I at least have that. I once camped outside after a show in Nashville when I was like 16 or 17 for like 2 hours at like midnight to like 2 a.m. just waiting for them to try to meet them. I did meet Issues, like the most of the guys in Issues and Jason oh god, I can't remember his last name from Let Live that day. So that was cool. I got to meet some people. What's that dude's name? Jason something. That band Let Live was basically just like about his whole life. Like he was supposed to be pretty much be dead when he was 17 because of whatever health thing he had going on, and he just lived. He just kept living. And like their music's brutal though. Crazy story. He's the singer of that one. We saw him at Sonic Temple. Something Fever 999
933.
933. Yeah, that's the same singer.
Oh
I
yeah, I
met
like
him.
that dude.
He's crazy. He like beats himself in the head with a mic and does crazy stuff. He got in a box and just jumped into the crowd in a box.
It's Jason Butler.
Butler, that's his last name. I knew. I was thinking. I kept going like a different letter, not B.
Yeah. When you said I wasn't sure when you said Let Live, but when you said Fever 933.
Yeah, that's where he went after. I don't think Let Live is still a band. I think when he left, they just disbanded. Fever 933 is just much more political, and them just calling out the government and like crazy.
I don't know. I like the music though.
BRB, I'm gonna find Jesus. Bro, I just sent you 3 different links of Jesus himself. And you need to go find him. I literally took you straight. I just showed you a picture of him on my shirt. You don't need to find Jesus. I just gave him to you. Dude, Ollie Sykes is my Lord and Savior. I wake up every day and I pray to him to never die ever, for him to live forever is the only thing I want in this life, is for Ollie to live forever. No, he does have a line about meeting God, though. Doesn't he? Like, no, that's I'm thinking of Ronnie Radke. He has a very weird relationship with his own religion. I can't remember what that line was, but I know they have that one line in this. Oh, I'm thinking of Hollywood Undead now. He's like, when you go to meet God, you want to look nice. Talking about getting a suit, dude. They're kind of messed up too. Oh no, I know what it is. All he says, "I'll bow for your king" when he shows himself. That's what it is. It is Ollie. That line when I was a teenager was like the hardest line I'd ever heard. Yeah, but Falling in Reverse is definitely better than Escape the Fate. Like, Ronnie started Escape the Fate and they kicked him to the curb because he got accused of murder and it was a wrong place, wrong time situation. And he actually went to prison for that. He never did it and he was not involved in it. He was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. And so Escape the Fate, he did like one of the best emo albums of all time with them. And then they just threw him to the curb. And I was like, that's kind of messed up, dude. And then so he got out of prison, started Falling in Reverse, and wrote The Drug and Me As You, and that entire album is just bashing Escape the Fate.
Striper just kicked Alex out of the fan club for blasphemy.
I don't even know who Striper is.
It's like the original Christian rock band.
Oh, one of my favorite metal bands is a Christian metal band. I have a tattoo of their album cover on my foot.
Lemmy from Motorhead.
Lemmy from Motorhead's the GOAT. He is the GOAT. My
Nazareth.
uncle has that documentary thing about him. He let me borrow it, and I'll watch that. Lemmy's the GOAT.
Yeah, Quiet Riot was fun. I love Motorhead.
Yeah, see,
The only
Shelby
one on
knows.
there I don't know is Arcade.
Here, I'll send you guys one of my favorite songs of all time. And I have this album, like, tattooed on my foot. But if Lemmy and God fight, who wins? Lemmy, definitely. Well, yeah, I got socks on right now, but you can kind of see it. Part of it. I'm not gonna take my socks off because some people are really weird with feet, and I'm not gonna encourage that. You do you, but you're probably never gonna see my toes. But this band, Chris, that I just sent in the chat, they're 100% Christian. All of their music is. They even have a line that says, "I hope you rot," which is so hard. Okay, I've been trying the middle of doing this forever, and I ain't gonna lie, that kill me. Y'all ain't gonna see my feet, you animals. No, yeah, you're not gonna see my feet, but I'll let you see the top. Just that's it, just the top. Because there's the top of it. You can make money for showing off that tat. I don't care how much money there is to be made. I am not going to help satisfy people with toes. It is not in my MO. Fun fact, I go back to school tomorrow. Do I care what time I go to sleep? Get to sleep? Absolutely not. Bro, sleep's not real, so neither is time. You're only tired if you want to be tired. Hang on, let me finish what I'm doing. Imagine Alex with an OnlyFans. Bro, if I had an OnlyFans, you know what I would do? I would just sit in a camera, like, dead face. Like, keep my face dead. And I would just eat, like, cereal or eat ramen. Like, and I would not say a word on any video. I would just do that. I would just eat whatever I'm eating for the day and then turn it off. And I'll say, you get what you get.
I'm still watching your Fit for a King video.
Dude, that video is awesome, too. They said it was, like, the hottest situation they've ever been in. Is that the one with all the fire?
Yeah.
Yeah, they said it was so, like, they had to take multiple takes because it took so
I
was so
assume that's
hot.
fire behind the tornadoes.
I can't remember which video. I meant to send just the song, but let me click on it.
That one's when everything means nothing.
No, this isn't the video I'm talking about. They have a video where there's just, like, flames, and it's very, very close to them.
Yeah, I get you post them links and I get over there and I get started. I don't stop.
Wait, I don't know anything about that Michael, what, Gambon? Is that what you said? Is that the dude from Harry Potter? That name sounds familiar. Stranger. But I don't know what you mean by saying I'm channeling my inner Michael Gambon? Gambon? I'm really terrible with names, but the name sounds familiar.
He's a Harry Potter guy, isn't he? Michael Gambon?
That's what I just said. Is he a Harry
Dumbledore.
Potter guy?
He's the Dumbledore guy.
Well, there's two Dumbledore guys.
The replacement Dumbledore. I don't think he's the first one. I think that's right.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna start an OnlyFans. You guys already get to hear me for free now. Go on my about whatever dumb stuff. So I don't need you to pay me to do it. Like, I'm gonna do it anyway. Let's see. And what you said about doing nothing for OnlyFans sounds like something he would have said in an interview. He was known for making up crazy shit in interviews. Dude, I mean, like, at the end of the day, a YouTube channel can be used as a career, but, like, it's just fun. So, like, and OnlyFans is only created to make money. Like, that is its only purpose. Like, I see YouTube as more than just making money. Like, I've made a lot of friends. I get all the social interaction I need. I get to talk about football, which is one of the biggest things that I love on this planet. And so if it turns into a career, then that's bonus. But it's also for fun. If I didn't enjoy it, I wouldn't do it.
No, it's more for fun. Let's see, where was I at on the chat? Chris grew up listening to ICP and Slipknot.
See, I am on the other side of the Corey Taylor rock. I like Stone Sour better than Slipknot.
Me too. Let's see.
Wait, what did Pat McAfee do? Because I feel like he's done a lot of things.
I love his alternate play-by-play for the Rose Bowl.
I almost watched that when I got home, but I went straight to bed when I got here.
Let's see. First Dumbledore was Richard Harris. Yes, Stranger.
Yeah, that name rings a bell too, so that makes sense. No, see, look, I also I will never disrespect a female or I guess a male. I'm not gonna rule that out too. For having an OnlyFans, however you can make money and do what you want with your life and whatever. I'm not going to disrespect the grind. All right, no matter how you do it, sex workers are people too, right? And so good for them. But I hate OnlyFans people. If you go on Twitter and if there's a viral post, it doesn't matter what it's about. Football, it could be about tacos, it could be about folding socks. It doesn't matter. There's always OnlyFans girls in there. Almost like porn bots. And they're so annoying. It's very easy to find your target audience. We all know when you hear OnlyFans, you know what it's for. Don't go under a thread about the referees screwing the Detroit Lions and trying to promote your stuff. There's plenty of places that you can do that. I want to read all of these angry people's comments. I don't want to have to sift through girls just trying to flirt with dudes so they'll pay for their channel. I don't care for that. I block every single one I see. I hope your career works out, and I'm not saying that your career is not a career because you're obviously making money, but I don't want to see it under football threads when I'm trying to read about football. And people make fun of them on there too, and I'm like, you're setting yourself up for that harassment.
Yeah,
Exactly, Chris. No, I don't want to see more. I want to see more comments about how this person's angry. I don't care about that. It's obnoxious. I don't have any disrespect to people who do it and who make a living or, even if they just do it for fun. I no disrespect or shade thrown, but stay off of threads you don't belong on.
Do you currently have Paramount Plus?
I think so, yeah.
Since you were talking about OnlyFans, you got to see the new South Park.
I know you've been telling me this since I told you about the new South Park.
Yeah, you brought it and I watched it. You still got to see it. I didn't know if you had it or not, but you've got to watch it. It's pretty hilarious.
I have it because I got CBS, their subscription, which was like $6 a month when the Chiefs were in the Super Bowl a couple years ago. And then I never canceled it. And then they merged.
Yeah.
With Paramount Plus.
But, it's got classic Randy Marsh in it.
So Randy Marsh is the best character in South Park by a mile.
Yeah, for sure. Uh-oh. I'm getting my 925 internet lag.
Dude, you're turning pixelated. Papa Blood is an anomaly.
I gotta go see. Let me go scratch back over here.
That's I believe that's considered distortion.
Yep, it's going out.
Also, everybody in the chat right now, I'll grab it before I even say this, but for Papa Blood's birthday, I'm sure he will definitely appreciate it. I've already posted this on Twitter, but make sure, if you haven't, Oops, sorry. To click this link and go hit the subscribe button. Help get this man to his first 100 so he can lock down his username for his gaming channel forever. Or sorry, his handle, whatever. But help him get to his first 100. Also, him and I are competing first to 1,000, and you guys get to choose what happens when there's a winner, as long as it's reasonable, of course. But make sure you go subscribe to his channel. Now that he's back to work, he won't be as live or on there as often, but I know he's not going to give up on it. And football ending is just going to open the door for more. You can check out mine if you want, but since it's his birthday, I'm more worried about promoting his and help him get caught up a little bit. That first 100's the hardest 100, so make sure you check that out. Go get him 100 subs, or your NFL team will get 17 L's next season. Oof, that's brutal. That is brutal.
That's the most lag I've had in a long time. It's as bad as it's been.
It doesn't look as bad as it sounds. Like, no, I take that back. The way I said that made it sound like your audio was bad. Your audio is just perfectly fine. But, like, it's only going through, like, a wave. Like, it's really not that bad. Like, you can obviously tell you're having internet issues, but it's okay.
Yeah, it's not as bad, but it's going back in that direction. I track it constantly because of the issues, so that I can always bust them out when it messes up. But this is as bad as it's been since I got it fixed. Dan Campbell was a tight end on the Lions 0-16 team.
All right. Well, we've got him up to 40 subscribers. So make sure you click that link if you haven't. Anybody else, and hit the subscribe button. And if you ever see him live, just go in there. At least give him a thumbs up. He's 60 away from cracking that first 100. Where's the birthday cake and ice cream? Oh, you heard him, Leo. After January 1st, he's going to be extreme dieting. So no way in heck I'm going to show up to his house with a cake and ice cream. And
so somebody showed up today with work with peanut butter fudge and no-bake cookies, and I had to take them and give them away.
No, you didn't have to. You chose to.
I did. I chose to. But I started my diet yesterday. Going to get it straightened back out again. First couple of days are the worst.
I'm not a big fan of no bake. Okay, I pinned his channel in the chat. So if anybody comes in here, if you see any new names in the next little bit, make sure you guys bully them into subscribing to his channel. Now, peanut butter fudge, I'll never say no to, but a no bake I could turn down. I'm not a big no bake cookie person. Although I did have a no bake peanut butter cookie at Shelby's parents' house the other day, and it was pretty good. Something about the consistency of no bake is just not me. Like, I can't do it. But we've got him up to 40. We got to rush him as quickly as possible to 100.
I just saw a chat. I just posted it. There's a Snowman's GoFundMe for the stadium tour. If you want to go watch that video, maybe you find somebody that can help the man out. Definitely check that out, though.
But also, on the other flip, yes, here's Snowman's GoFundMe. If you'd like to check that out. Snowman's a good guy. I'm glad you called him Snowman instead of Brian.
I can't help it. I'm trying to correct my flaws.
Oh yeah, you're working on yourself in 2024, are you?
Absolutely not.
I will be live on my gaming channel once my body has consumed some Taco Bell today, just so you guys know. If you need a place or want a place to hang out and talk smack, it's basically kind of like today. Q&As on It's in the Blood are just chill, laid back, talk about whatever. We don't have any direction. But that's what the gaming channel's scene is like. It's in the Blood After Dark, basically. Just there's video games instead of just staring at one of our faces. Baja Blast is Alex's gaming channel after dark. That's every time we're on there, though. We've met some cool people on there that are not the football people. In the last week or so, we met a Falcons fan that's going to test Panther to the end of time. I just know, but yeah, we do have fun. Well, I have fun over in Papa Blood's chat when he can read it.
Yeah, I gotta do something a little different with that.
You gotta get your second screen and then whatever tab your chat is, because you can go to YouTube and then go to your chat and then pop the chat out as its own window and then just zoom in on it so it's your whole screen. It's real big. Why you hate Todd? You didn't hate him until you found out he was a Falcons fan. You had to ask him. If you didn't ask him, you'd never known and everything would have been okay.
In that division, the Falcons are my favorite team.
In that division, the Saints are my favorite team. Yeah, but you brought up football. Listen, things get wild over there. We often talk about video games, but more often than not, we talk about everything else. And we've gotten into some deep, dark directions. I learned what a new word was this past week. I'm not going to say it in here because this one is slightly more PG, family friendly. Over there's no rules except for don't be a horrible person. That's why a lot of my friends I don't play with, because they are horrible. Yeah, Shelby knows. I learned it. I said it about 100 times, and then Shelby was like, I don't think you know what that word means. And that turns out I didn't. Turns out I didn't know what that word means. I wasn't even close. So she said, that's why you don't say words you don't know. Yeah, but you said it the other day, and I liked how it sounded, so I just kept saying it. And then she called me out. I Googled it, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. Well, you're going to have to go back and find it. Well, I'm not going to say it in here. It was funny, though. It was funny, the moment of realization when I read what it was. I was like, oh, okay. Oh, okay. Turns out I was actually using it semi-correctly, though. Even though I had no idea what it meant. In the context of the game. I was kind of using it right. You learn something new every day, and that gaming channel teaches me stuff too. No, I'm not even gonna type it. I'm just gonna drop it and move on. And Burden says, as long as you're having fun. The silent assassin, he come out just when I started. I feel like he's always here. We never hear him. We never see him, but he's always here. And I looked it up, and then he come in there and just started talking about it. He knew. I was like, man, I guess it's just something that people say that I've never heard before. And the Burdens was like, as long as you're having fun.
Hey, Alex, it just came to me when we were sitting there talking about earlier. When you were talking about the guy on Chicago White Sox, the infielder that you liked, was it Tim Anderson?
Someone said that.
Did they? Because that's the person's name I couldn't think of.
I don't know which stream it was, Leo, but it was a Call of Duty stream. Let me go to the White Sox roster from, okay, this past year was 23, so 22. Let's go to 2021. It'll probably come up there. Dylan Cease was one of them, but I think he is a pitcher. Yeah, he's a pitcher. I liked watching him at least that season. Okay. Infielders, Jose Abreu, Tim Anderson. Maybe it was an outfielder. Luis Robert Jr., maybe. I thought if I saw his name that I would know who it was. But I'm looking at this roster and I don't know who it was. But there's a lot of guys on this roster that was really good.
Yeah, they got a pretty good roster.
Garrett Crochet, I think he was a rookie that year. I have a patch card for him. He was born in 1999. What a child. A 6'6" child. Let's go to fielding. It must have been Tim Anderson that I was thinking of.
He's got that name that just doesn't stand out, right?
Also, Billy Hamilton played there that year. I don't know if he's still there, but that season he played there as well.
He ended up having to retire because he could never figure out hitting.
He was just fastest boy.
Yeah. That was an entertaining season, when they brought him up just to steal bases in late innings.
They let him play in the Reds game, the Reds series, just for that. Yeah, now I'm craving to Taco Bell. Gonna run for the border. I have Taco Bell on the way.
I already had my dinner. Do you know what I had for dinner?
What'd you have for dinner? Eggs? Boiled eggs?
No.
I'm trying to think of what you normally eat on your diets.
A buffalo tuna wrap.
That actually sounds pretty good.
They were really good. Rick, thank you.
Rick, appreciate you for hanging. Hopefully you get some Baja Blast.
Oh, I love Baja Blast.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only soft drink that I would only want out of the fountain. I would never want it in a bottle or a can.
Corn and sausage. That's a really good guess, Shelby. He eats a lot of sausage patties.
Used to.
Like the round ones. When we lived with him last year, I feel like 3 days a week he ate it was 3 sausage patties and some corn.
Yeah. So I'd get a bag of one of the small servings of the bird's eye corn, and then I would get 3 what was it, Bob Evans hot sausage patties? No, Purnell's hot sausage patties, and then I'd cook those and I'd chop it up and put it in a bowl of corn for real.
Dude, he would eat it in 2 or 3 days. Is there a week 18 Thursday night football? No. We get Saturday and Sunday. I think that's it.
Yes.
Saturday and Sunday. Also, the day of the playoffs, the first day, January 13th, I will not be here for any of it, even the late game. And I'm going to work to see if I can get my schedule moved around a little bit, but I'm scheduled until 10:30.
Ooh.
And there's 2 games that day, a 4:30 and an 8:15. Originally, I was supposed to be working 1 to 9:30, and I was gonna try to leave early. We'll see. Oh, here,
Chad,
Chad.
thank you, bro.
But yeah, I just got an email today that my schedule changed, and that was one of the days that changed. But I'm off the entirety of Sunday, so I'll be here for all 3 playoff games most likely. It's the playoffs, so we're gonna try not to miss a minute. And the only way that I will be here on Saturday is if the Chiefs playoff game is on that Saturday on the 13th. Then I will be here on the 13th. Those are the Peacock games, though. So you're right. So I have to figure my stuff out by then. Which I'll have it figured out. If I am able to be home, I'll get it figured out. If the Chiefs play that day. So basically, if Kansas City is set to play on the 13th, I have priorities, and my job won't be one that day. they'll have to get over it. They harass me all year long for being a Chiefs fan, so I'm gonna take advantage of the fact that they all know that I'm a Chiefs fan.
All Dumbledores are dead. I didn't know that. I didn't know the second one passed.
Yep. Very sad. Yeah, it's very sad. A lot of the casting for those movies. I think Alan Rickman really hit me the hardest. I don't know why. He was the bad guy, but like he had such a great character development, man. Like he it turns out he wasn't the bad guy. He just portrayed himself as the bad guy. But his story is incredible, man. Like he's I say one of the best character developments of that entire like 8 movie series.
Yeah, I love Snape.
Snape, Snape, Severus Snape. Alan Rickman was great in basically everything he did. Have you ever seen that? Hang on. Severus Snape.
What?
12 years ago. Okay, this is 2 minutes long. If anybody likes Harry Potter and hasn't seen this, you guys have to watch it. Oh man, it's so good. It's the Potter Puppet Pals. I think this is the right one. Dude, it's so good. Dumbledore. Ron Weasley. Harry Potter. Harry Potter. Harry Potter.
Oh my god. Ron, 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 Ron Weasley. So good. I don't know how they can sit there and do that. That gives me a headache.
It's one of the ending is so funny. It's a pipe bomb. I love Puppet Voldemort too.
Looks like an alien.
Dude, that's a classic, man. That is a classic. If you know, you know.
Second comment down that 11 years later, and this still slaps.
Seriously. I remember when it came out and it went crazy.
Yo, Juice. What's happening, my friend? Thank you.
We've had like 50 people tell you happy birthday today, and you're gonna sit here and tell me just laying in bed by yourself is better than this.
I mean, I was indifferent earlier. I knew that's what you were doing.
Clap
Hey, bro.
dances on me.
Let's go. Are we going to get to
Yep.
hang out again this year, Juice?
Where's Juice from?
Juice lives in Colorado.
You've been to Colorado with him?
No, we all went to the same place in Michigan.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. I was like, when did you go there? I knew you went to St. Louis and Kansas City.
Yep, I've been that way. Not for me, Ian, for sure. No birthday stream.
I'll birthday stream for you.
I probably could have. 100% right on, bro.
All right, it's about that time, so I can eat, and then the duty probably calls. So I'll drop my link. Although check out the pinned link if anybody new that's hopped in here in the last few minutes, and subscribe to Papa Blood's gaming channel. Help us get him to his first hundo. Him and I are racing.
Fundamental, I will be here tomorrow at about 8:50.
850. And if you want to hang out with either of us later, I will be live. Here is my channel where I will be live as soon as I finish eating my dinner.
Yo.
As for the rest of the week, tomorrow IU stream either Thursday, probably Thursday since there's no football, or Friday. Someday this in the next couple of days we'll be in here for our final week of picks live stream. I will try to keep you updated whenever we figure out what we're gonna do. And then Saturday, I think we've got football games on Saturday. I think I said that already. Then we'll be here Saturday. Yeah, the Colts and Texans Saturday night we'll be in here for, and then Sunday we'll also be in here for, obviously, Sunday Night Football, our final Sunday Night Football of the regular season. Things are winding down, so we'll be in here a couple days, the next couple throughout the week. So keep your eyes out. I'll post in the Discord. If there's any changes, and then I'll try to post on the community tab as well. Keep tabs and keep up with everything. You got anything? You got anything to say to the people who come out for you today?
Hey, everybody that stopped by today, I definitely love and appreciate all of you. Juice, love you too, bro. You guys are awesome. I would have been content just chilling out in the bed the whole evening, maybe watching a basketball game when I decided to get up, but this was way better. Your all's love and support's amazing. It does make me happy. So I love it.
Yep, and we made it all 2.5 hours. I wasn't sure how long we'd go.
God dang, that's a long time. We started at 7 something, didn't we?
7:15.
Yeah, time flies when we do these Q&As.
This will not be our last Q&A. We're not going to go dark on the Q&As, even though you guys had very few Qs. Next time, bring some more cues with you, but we will make sure to bring this around sooner rather than later. With football winding up, we're gonna have so much more free time. We might do it once a week through the entire off season just to do it.
Oh yeah,
or at least once every other week. But we appreciate you all. I'm Alex. That's Papa Blood. It is his birthday. Happy birthday, Papa Blood. Oh, you were pointing. I thought you were like doing horns or something. I was like, all right, cool. But we appreciate you all. I'll be over on the It's Me Scurvy account, which I posted in the chat. Make sure you subscribe to Papa Blood's gaming channel, and we will see you guys on the next one. Whoop. Boo.